Hey guys, you asked for it, so here it is, the full review of the Orange San Francisco, better known as the ZTE Blade, rebranded as an orange handset. So here's the device itself. You may have seen this in my unboxing video, and this is a full review of it basically. Unfortunately, because I own a flip camera, there is no autofocus, so you know, you can't see the screen very well at all, so we have to make do with what we've got. Overall, the build quality of the handset is nice. It's £99 pay as you go, and I think if you buy now, you get a free Christmas gift like a watch or a pair of headphones or something. So this is the device itself. The plastics feel fairly nice. You know, it's not too cheap. It feels pretty nice in the hand. There's a nice weight to it compared to other handsets that are sort of around this price range. And the screen is the first thing I'm going to be talking about. The screen is 3.5 inches across, and it is an AMOLED screen, which is very good because not only are the viewing angles absolutely incredible, I know you can't really see that the best on camera, but you can look at it pretty much from major angles like that and still be able to see the screen without any sort of darkening or, you know, sort of, you get that effect when you sort of tilt it. Sometimes it goes a bit blue or it starts to blur, but you don't really get that very much with this because it is the AMOLED screen. Also, because it's AMOLED, it's not backlit. It's all dealt with in the display itself, so the blacks are very deep. It's as though it's not even turned on, so, you know, there's no light emitted when there's blacks. So if you set the screen to pitch black and held it up to something, you'd pretty much not be able to tell that it's even on. Also, the resolution of the display is 480 by 800, so the picture quality is absolutely incredible. It looks much like a HD display to the eye. It's no Retina display partner, but the brightness is very good, the colours are very good, and overall the display itself is absolutely extraordinary. I know you can't see it on camera, but if you can, try one of these out yourself and you'll see that the display is very, very nice. It's also capacitive touch, so, you know, it only works with actual touch from yourself. It doesn't work with any stylus or other sort of input. You see, because it's not resistive. It's not done by pressing down on the screen. It's done by the actual touch itself. So even very light touches on the screen will respond. And because of this, it feels very nice. You don't have to press down at all. You can just swipe along, and it feels much like the sort of screen you'd get on an iPhone or iPod Touch or anything like that. If you buy this though, the one thing I'd say about the default software is it's not very good. It runs Android 2.1, which is a shame because we probably won't see an update to 2.2 or 2.3 Gingerbread because it's such an old handset. Well, it's not an old handset, but it's a budget handset, so, you know, we probably won't see an official upgrade from Orange because they have to sort of put development into it and work around any bugs that they have. So we only really see updates like that for high-end devices like HTCs and Samsung Galaxy S and so on. Android 2.1 though is okay. I mean, it's pretty recent, it's not too old, and I mean you still get loads of the main features. It's just those little enhancements that you don't get to see in 2.2, and 2.3 is more of a massive overhaul, and I definitely don't see we'll be seeing that on this device in particular. But overall, Android is a very good platform. Obviously, the specs of this phone enable it to perform quite well. I've got Launcher Pro installed on here because the stock Orange software for the home screen is very laggy. It seems to sort of jump between screens and it seems to be a bit jerky motion, but I have Launcher Pro installed on here, which is a free app from the Android market, and this pretty much stops all of that jerky motion. It's very customizable. You can have like up to 7 home screens. You can customize the dock down here and all sorts. This isn't all come preloaded on the phone. It's just a free app that I downloaded from the market, and most apps run quite well with the hardware that we've got on here. I ran Angry Birds and some other popular games, and there didn't seem to be any issues with performance. So the overall performance is actually very good on this device, despite that it's 600 MHz and not 1 GHz like we're seeing in most modern smartphones. But then again, you don't really expect it to be, because this is a budget handset after all. Another thing is the ability to have so much equipment pre-installed on the handset itself. For £99 you're getting an awful lot here. I mean, you've got the 3.5-inch capacitive touchscreen, which is very responsive and absolutely amazing quality with the AMOLED technology. Up here we've got the speaker, and there's an ambient light sensor and a proximity sensor in there. If you don't know what they are, the ambient light sensor will, if you set it up to, detect the light in the room or outside or wherever you are, and change the display's brightness accordingly, so that saves battery when you're indoors, and then increases the brightness when you're outdoors so that you can see the phone properly, etc. And also the proximity sensor, which is common on smartphones now. I'll give you a quick demonstration of that if you're not sure what it is. I'll go onto the dialer here. I'll call orange to see my balance, because I am on pay-as-you-go. So we're dialing now, and I'll put it up to my face, and the screen will go off so that my face doesn't dial random numbers or, you know, do anything like that. And as soon as I take it away, the screen will come back on again so that I can use the dial pad or end the call or whatever. So little things like that do help make this a great handset and still have features that some top-end devices do. Also, there's a built-in compass which works a treat. I'll give you a quick example of that. There we go, there's a compass. If I just turn the phone, you'll see the compass turning too. You can see that works okay, and it seems to work quite nicely because I've tested it outdoors. It's got GPS built in, so Google Maps works a breeze with navigation. Wi-Fi built in, and it remembers it, so all I have to do is press the Wi-Fi, and after it says updating, it'll come up with a thing saying I'm connected, and I'll be straight online on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or, you know, whatever you want to go on really. And that's just with a click of a button after you set it all up. And also it remembers other connections if you tell it to. So if I walk up to my friends, it will disconnect from mine because it loses signal, and as soon as it comes in with a sort of area of my friend's house, it will automatically connect to his network so that I can go online as soon as I get inside, or, you know, whatever I want to do. So that's another handy feature. Again, that's more of an Android software thing though. That's common on most phones that run Android software. So another thing is the camera. The camera's a bit of a downside. It's 3.2 megapixels and it's an autofocus camera. The autofocus does actually work a treat. It's it focuses very well on even things very close to the phone, and some apps take advantage of that. The quality of the pictures though is not too great, but then again that's why we have separate cameras. I don't really use my phone that often to take pictures, and if I did, then I'd probably be looking more at a handset like the iPhone 4, which has the 5 megapixel camera, geotagging and uploading facilities, and HDR photography and so on, and HD video recording, which is something this definitely doesn't have. So other than that, the build quality of the device itself is very nice, feels very nice in the hand. There's some weight to it, unlike with other handsets, and of this price range anyway. One small problem is the chrome strip on the side. Even though it looks fairly nice, some people say it looks cheap, but I like it. One little notable issue is, you hear that? It's a squeak, and that happens every time you press volume down. I don't know whether it's just this one or whether it's a common problem, but I've heard that it is indeed a common problem. But as long as you press it at the right sort of angle, you don't really notice it, and that's the only thing really that I can fault it on. A good thing is also the 3.5mm headphone jack, so you don't have to use the horrible headphones provided. You can use your own, say, you know, any sort of headphones that you can plug into a normal headphone jack can plug into this phone with no troubles at all. Another bad thing is the battery life. It seems okay though, as long as you're okay on charging it on a daily basis. Because it's quite intensive, it uses, you know, the screen must use quite a lot of battery because it's very bright, and it's the technology used in it is quite advanced, and the battery probably isn't. But as long as you don't use it too intensively, you can get away with charging it every 1 or 2 days, which seems quite a lot, but as long as you've got the charger with you, or you can plug it into the PC to charge. I know you can see lots of smudges there, but you kind of need that because otherwise the glass is really hard to swipe on, you get stuck. So I mean the little bit of smudging kind of actually helps glide your finger along it. But you can clean it, or I could get a screen protector for it, but I just can't be bothered. Another downside, unfortunately, is the battery cover. The whole back plate comes off. Let's have a look at some other handsets. Samsung D900. Another thing to quickly note is the thinness. Thinnest slider in the world at one point this was, and 12.9mm thin. It's about on par. Right, so we've got the Samsung here. There you go, battery cover's off. Just have to move that. LG cookie here. Turn it upside down. Battery cover's off. But with the San Francisco, it is a different story. What you have to do first is you have to get a nail or some sort of object inside that little slot there, and you have to run your nail along the little crack thing until there's enough of an opening that you can go and unclip the other side. And you have to run it along till they're both unclipped. And now, in theory, I should be able to, there we go, unclip the whole back plate. It's quite a lot of fuss, but then again, you shouldn't really be needing to undo the back plate anyway. There's no real need to. You've got the ZTE battery in there. It's 1,250 milliamp hours. That's just gives you an idea of the capacity of the battery itself. The 3G SIM card there, and a micro SD 2GB, which comes free with the phone, which is very nice, and that's pre-installed for you. You don't even have to open that and put it in. So snapping it back on is a bit easier. You just make sure it's all clipped in, but still it's a bit of a downside. Overall though, I'd say that the handset itself is absolutely incredible for the money. Lots of people say that it is the best cheap Android handset you can buy, even though we probably won't be seeing an upgrade. The software is smooth, it runs most of the apps you find now in the Android market without any faults. Maybe a tiny bit of lag at times due to the slightly slower 600MHz processor, but that's to be expected with a phone this cheap. I was not expecting the screen to be this good either. It's very, very nice, very responsive because it's capacitive, and the screen quality is actually pretty amazing. Overall, build quality, very nice, and there's not really much you can fault it on. Overall, it is a very nice handset for the price. £99 pay as you go, and as I said probably at the earlier stages of the video, you can get it now on pay as you go for £99, and also you get a free Christmas thing with that as well. So